Hey, good afternoon, Augusta Nation, here in Augusta, Georgia, out estimating on this beautiful, sunny, hot June day. And I had, last night we had a bad review, which is always terrible. You know, one of the gut punch feelings that you will have as a business owner. And I don't think it ever gets any easier. Anything under a 4-star is just a gut punch, and it hurts. And so last night, I guess it's about 8:30 or so, I was about to get ready to get a shower and end my night, and I see this 1-star review. Immediately I'm like, all right, what can we do about it? And here in Augusta, Georgia, location number 24, and my fellow Augusta franchisees, if anybody wants to vote for me, I'd love to represent you. This is not a campaign, but I would enjoy doing that. So this is one of those things you're going to deal with eventually at some point, especially once you have other people doing the work and you're not the one performing the services, is the negative reviews. They're going to happen. And this one specifically, I think it hurts even more when they got you dead to rights and you made the mistake, you messed up some property, the work didn't look good, whatever it was. So this one specifically, it was on Facebook, so it's like, do not recommend. I guess it's a 1-star, and she listed out the grievances, had pictures of what happened. We had gouged an area of turf. We had weed-eated a rose plant, and this specific client had some other instances happen in the past year of doing business with us that were not pleasant. So she just kind of unleashed, and she had us dead to rights. And I respond immediately to all reviews, good and bad. It's especially important to do it to the bad ones. And in my opinion, utilizing extreme ownership, not including any mitigating circumstances, aka excuses, or anything that would shine a more positive light onto the situation, is my personal method of handling it. Just owning it 100% and letting the customer know that our goal is for the customer experience to be as promised, excellent. And for the Augusta Nation, for us and everybody else representing the brand, the mission being to increase the level of professionalism in the industry. In my opinion, that's how we do it. Of course, we're going to make mistakes, but so I responded, with, I apologize for the dissatisfaction. I know we've had several instances where you've been displeased, and I would like the opportunity to repair the relationship and continue servicing the property. That's always my goal. As far as whether or not they continue that service, them knowing that we want them and that we value them as a customer is my goal whenever we're doing that, collateral, that damage control, or just trying to, if it's the first one, usually most customers are more than willing to give a second chance and allow us to do whatever we need to do. And so this case specifically, we had, and there's always mitigating circumstances. There's always mitigating things that can, in my opinion, those are reserved for court. If you're on the stand and you're trying to get your sentence reduced or thrown out, mitigating circumstances that decrease your level of culpability have only, one place, and that's in court. Whenever you are a business that is dealing with customer complaints, I think just owning the situation, paying most attention to their feelings, and letting them know that we care about them and want to serve them is the most important thing. So it's super important that they hear that, because in this specific case, if I wanted to play to my ego and make me feel better about the situation, or make my team feel better, I was there. I know exactly the lay of the land. I saw things. So of course there's mitigating circumstances. These roses were tiny little pint-sized roses inside of the lawn, not in a bed. blueberries that we hit, same way in the middle of the lawn. And the scalping that went on was in an area that tall grass, and then we have divots. And so the mower cut unevenly. Those are all mitigating circumstances, but they have no place in my opinion, when you're talking to the customer about agreements. So, didn't mention any of that. Wanted to salvage a relationship, so one of the things was we had a rose, and there's another mistake made. I was going to call her today, and Jeremy was proactive about it. We had a rose on site. He sent the team member back this morning, first thing. Before she even came out the door, she saw the rose was replaced. So thinking that's a good thing, right? In most cases, probably 9 out of 10 times, it would have been. They would have been like, all right, the company really wants to take care of me. They replaced it with a similar rose. Well, in this case, get a call, very angry customer. We had went back and forth a couple times with what we were going to do. I told her I was going to call her today. I was. I figured, hey, go ahead and send Hunter over there. It was 7 o'clock in the morning. Wasn't going to give her a call. Well, that was the wrong thing to do, because we got a call of an angry homeowner thinking that we just did this in a rush to get it over with, replaced it with, didn't call her, didn't ask her what color rose, yada yada. And this case is specific. It's got some emotional ties to it. People hold emotions in different ways, and they, with their property, with a lot of different ways. So you got to think about that too. You can say, hey, this customer blowing this out of proportion. That's, hey, whatever, possible. But every customer is different. So some customers may have a lot of emotional attachment, and they hold it in all their interactions, or just in their lawn, or whatever the case may be. This client, son passed away last year, probably about to be on the anniversary, so that's there. And then this specific rose was a gift from her daughter, so had sentimental value. And in her eyes, we just wanted to get this done with. We replaced it with some random rose. And so I had a conversation with her this morning. I'm usually pretty good at reading people, and what I read this morning was she did not want to have an actual dialogue. She wanted to talk. She wanted me to acknowledge that I was listening and understood, but didn't want any input from me. So, I just did the bare minimum to have an actual, some form of dialogue. She doesn't want anything to do with this anymore, but we are returning. So what we had to do is the rose that got cut, luckily, team member still had it in the bag. We're going to come back to the property at the end of the day, put that stub of a rose in there. Hopefully that works out. Put some pot and mix in there, and then fade in. For those y'all don't know the terminology, or if I say something different, fading in, if you scalp a yard, got some unevenness, you can take the high side, kind of like you would with a messed up haircut, and weed eat that whole area, and it kind of fades it in. So we'll do that at the end of the day. So now that you know the context of all of that, the way I handled it is the way that I try to handle all of it. And I've only been able to do that because it's not like you take the emotion out. What I do is I try to keep my ego at bay and try to keep the mission at the forefront. And that is, customer centered, customer focused. What does this customer want? What was our promise to deliver? And earlier on when I was doing the work, when I was new at all this, and especially when I was doing the work and a customer had a complaint and I felt like I did 100% in the right, and the customer was, whatever it was about, had a concern, had a complaint, it really hit home, and I think it was pride, which in that sense of the word is not positive. That's when you let ego get in the way of your better judgment. So there's been several times, when I was not so gracious. I say several. There's 2 or 3 times that I can remember where I lost my cool. This was at Fine Line, so it's when I was representing Augusta. Lost my cool to what I took as disrespect. but it definitely helps having that bigger goal. When I think about customer interaction, I think about the 90 plus families that are wearing this brand and that have promised to uphold the professionalism in the industry, to be the peak of that, and to be the rising tide that's supposed to lift everybody up. So it helps to have y'all as accountability, because I've got emotions and things, and they can sometimes get in the way. But I hope that helped. Sometimes it helps to vent too. So this is always a safe space. If you have any instances of this year that you have in mind, that come to mind, of a customer complaint that you feel was just outlandish and out of left field, feel free to comment. I'd love to hear about it. I hope y'all have a great day.